what's up and welcome, I'm the one and only West Coast King, and welcome to the video where I tell you the results of the voting for the next career mode that I am going to do. Now, first off, I want to say a huge thank you to everyone that voted. I actually got so many more comments on that video than I have ever gotten on any video ever. I was actually stunned by the number of responses that I got, and it was pretty overwhelming actually. And I was a very pleasant surprise. So thank you to everyone that voted. It was amazing to see the response that I got. But before I get too sentimental on you on that one, let's just get into what you're here for, and that is the results of the voting. So the way the voting went was, in the first hour or so, there were a lot of responses, a huge number of responses, and it looked like it was going to be either a Leverkusen career or some kind of a Bundesliga career, or an Orlando City career in the MLS, which I was fine with either one of those teams. If I did an MLS career, Orlando City would be really close to the top of my list for a team I would want to use. And a Leverkusen career, for me, if you've been around this channel for a while, you know the player that I've wanted to use probably the most, and the one I always mention in every career, but I've never been able to get him, is Chicharito. And starting with him at Leverkusen would have been a dream for me, so I was very happy with either one of those selections. However, as time went on a little bit, about 24 hours into the voting, things started to change. It was still, MLS career was definitely still on the table, but it was between either Orlando or Dallas. And then a late push came in from the Liga MX, and a lot of people started voting for the Liga MX. And it came right down to it, but just edging it out is the Liga MX, and that is going to be the next career that I do on this channel, and I'm very happy with that. Like I said, it's a league that I'm very interested in. I don't have a lot of experience with, and I don't know a lot about it, but it's definitely a league that I wanted to do something with. So when I found out that the Liga MX was going to be the winner of the voting, I decided I'm going to read up, do a little bit of research on the Liga MX, because like I said, I didn't know very much about the league. And I wanted to get kind of a good idea of how the league worked, just in case there's anything different from any other leagues. And what I found out was actually astonishing. I didn't know how much I was lacking in the knowledge on the Liga MX. So I'm going to try to describe to you, to the best of my knowledge, how the Liga MX works, because when I found all this out, I decided to also do a quick simulation playthrough in the Liga MX to see if everything was as it said it was online. So this is how the Liga MX is supposed to work. It's split into two halves. Each season split into two halves. You have the Apertura, which is the first half. You have the Clausura, which is the second half. The Apertura is 17 weeks long. You play through it. The top 8 teams make the playoffs, which is in December, and you play through the playoffs and a champion is crowned. You then roll over to January. The Clausura starts, same thing, 17 weeks, top 8 teams make the playoffs, a champion is crowned. Now, it also said that the winner of the Apertura and the winner of the Clausura then play each other in the Supercopa or the Super Cup, and I don't know if that's actually in FIFA or not, and I'm not exactly sure who the overall champion is in the Liga MX. If you know, if you can kind of clear that up for me, please do so in the comments below. I'm not sure if there's just 2 champions, the winner of the Apertura and the winner of the Clausura are just both the champions, or if the winner of the Super Cup is the champion. And my playthrough honestly didn't clear anything up, because this is what happened in the playthrough. I went into the Apertura. It was fine. It was exactly how it said it was going to be. 17 weeks, top 8 teams make the playoffs, and then a champion is crowned. And I actually finished 6th in the Apertura, and then went on to win the playoffs. So I actually was the champion of the Apertura, which surprised me a little bit. We then rolled over to the Clausura, and then shit hit the fan. I was not expecting a domestic cup. I didn't read anything about a domestic cup being in the Liga MX. I just assumed there wasn't going to be one. I did see some things mentioned about the Libertadores, and from my best understanding, there is a variation of that in the Liga MX. It's called the Copa Latam, or the Latin America Cup. And that starts at the beginning of January as well. So when you roll over to the Clausura, you have 2 games a week for the first 2 months. And when that happened, I also got decimated by injury. So in the Latin America Cup, we got 2 points in the group and got eliminated, finishing last place. It was a disaster. Right as that ended, my team was near the bottom of the table in the Liga MX, but I was starting to get all my players back. So we're starting to build some momentum, getting healthy again. We made a really strong push at the end of the season, and we actually squeaked into the playoffs on the last match day of the season, finishing 7th. But by that time, my team was in really good form. They were surging. We actually made it all the way to the semifinal of the Clausura playoffs and won the semifinal. So at that point, we should have gone into the finals of the Clausura and had a shot at either doing the double, winning the Apertura and the Clausura. And then if that happened, I don't know if there would be a Super Cup because we were the champions of both or whatever. I don't know what would happen. What did happen is nothing. Nothing happened. I won the semifinal of the Clausura. There was no final. There was no Super Cup. There was nothing. I then simulated to the end of the season. I hit advance to go to the next season thinking, okay, I'm just the champion of Liga MX, I guess. And then I got the email. Yeah, I got fired. I don't know why. It doesn't say why. It just says that they believe the team can do better. I don't know how. We won pretty much everything in the league that I was allowed to win. I won the Apertura. I went to the final of the Clausura, and I still got fired. Now, my only thinking is this is either a glitch, and it was just a glitched playthrough, an anomaly that will not happen again, or I seriously underestimated how important the Domestic Cup was. I don't think that's the case. I'm pretty sure this was a glitch. I did check my objectives after I won the semifinal in the Clausura, and it said that my league objective was to reach the final of the playoff. Now, I won the playoff in the Apertura, and I just, I'm assuming, reached the final of the Clausura, even though it never took place. So I should have achieved my league objective, but it still said I was 5 points behind, and I was below my objective. Don't know why. It also said my objective in the Domestic Cup was to reach the quarterfinal, and obviously I told you we got eliminated from that really early on, but it still said I was in the group stage. So I'm really thinking this was a glitch, and I'm really just hoping this does not happen again. So that is just my first experience with the Liga MX. It wasn't a very good one. It was pretty freaking hilarious when I got to the end and found out I was fired for no reason. And hopefully that doesn't happen again. Otherwise, this will be a really, really short career mode series. But I just want to say the whole voting process actually really helped me get a grasp on what you guys want to see. So after the Liga MX career, I'm thinking of going back to doing an MLS career with either Orlando or Dallas. Those were definitely the top 2 vote getters from the MLS. And then after that, maybe a big club career over in England that seemed to get a lot of votes as well. Just didn't quite get the support that the MLS and the Liga MX did. So those are my ideas for the next couple of career mode series. Again, let me know a team you want me to use in the Liga MX. I'm thinking some team that has a budget around the $8 million mark. There's a lot of them. So if you could pick one of those teams, that would be awesome. But if you want to see something else, such as a lower budget team in the Liga MX, or Tigres, if you want me to do that one, I would do that one as well. Either way, whatever the most votes gets, that's the one I will choose. But that is going to do it for this one. If you're looking forward to this Liga MX career, please let me know, leave a like below, subscribe if you're new, and I will see you when we head down to Mexico and get things started in the Liga MX. See ya.